at it, please.
Yeah.
It's okay. We go to chapter 25. Employment, unemployment, causes and effects. Today we're just going to talk about employment, the meaning of employment, the meaning of unemployment, and the causes of unemployment. That's where we stop today. So what is employment? Employment means you are engaged, you have a job. Is it that you are engaged through your own, you are engaged, you are self-employed, or you are engaged through a firm, or you have a government job. Either ways, it is employment because you are engaged, you have a job, you are employed. That is employment. And when it comes to unemployment, unemployment is a situation where an individual who is willing and able to work within the age category to work but couldn't get one. That is unemployment. You are willing, you are able, you are qualified, you are within the age category to work but you couldn't find one. That is unemployment. And you are willing and ready to work within the next 2 weeks. That is unemployment. Is it clear? Is it clear, please? Great. So we go to causes of unemployment. There are different causes of unemployment. We're going to start with frictional. We call it frictional or temporary. Temporary unemployment. For temporary unemployment, I wrote, this is a short-term unemployment. It occurs as a result of the time between when an individual leaves a job to seek for another. So we call it temporary or frictional. Based on the fact that it happens when I am leaving this job I have right now to seek for a new one. That is temporary. I'm leaving this job to seek for a new one. So the time in between, I'm looking for a new job. I'm leaving this job, the present job, for a new one. That time between them is called temporary or frictional unemployment. Do we get it?
Yes.
The time in between you are leaving your present job to seek for a new one is temporary unemployment. It's not going to last long. It's just a short term. The second one, seasonal. Seasonal. This kind of unemployment arises as a result of certain demand in a specific period of a year. This pattern cannot be eradicated as it occurs at a specific time in the year. There's nothing you could do about it. It will continue to happen. It is constant because it is seasonal. Maybe in the summer or in the winter. So because summer continues to come at a specific period of time, you have a job during summer, you don't have a job during winter. Or you have a job during winter, you don't have a job during summer. So that means as soon as that time comes, you're not going to have a job. That is called seasonal. Is it clear? Then that takes us to structural. The word structure, how things are. This is a longer lasting form of unemployment caused by fundamental shifts in the economy. This means demand for labor is less than its supply in an individual labor market. So it is structural because in the market for teachers, like for example, now let's talk about the educational industry. There's structural unemployment in the educational industry because the demand for teachers are less than the supply, or the supply of teachers are more than the demand for teachers. So schools do not need teachers right now, but a lot of teachers are available. That is structural. Do you get structural here? The demand for is less than the supply of in an individual labor market. That's why we call it individual. That means we are talking about a specific market. The market for education, the market for health, the market for banking, the market for insurance. Do we get it? So if the demand in each market is less than the supply, it is structural. A specific structure. I think it's clear. The next one, technological unemployment. Technology. What is technology? Things get better, faster. Right? So if the demand for individuals has reduced as a result of firms, companies transforming from being labor intensive to capital intensive, that is technological. Do you get what technological is here? Workers, they don't need workers more. Workers become redundant as a result of firms, companies trying to change their pattern in terms of being from being labor intensive to capital intensive. So they use more of equipment, they use more of technology to replace workers. That is technological unemployment. Do we get it? And the next one is cyclical. Cyclical. When we talk about cyclical, we're talking about aggregate demand within the economy. So if the demand in the economy falls, it does not only affect the firms, it affects everyone. Because if aggregate demand falls, firms will not be making revenue. They might need to lay off workers. So laying off workers means workers will not be having a job. So it comes back. It's cyclical. So look at what I wrote here. This occurs when there is insufficient aggregate demand in the economy for all workers to get a job. It might occur during recession. Both human and capital will be underutilized. During recession, people will not have jobs. Firms will not be in operation. Firms will not be operational. So it does not only affect the firms, it affects both the firms and the people. Firms will not be selling as they used to sell. People do not have money as they used to have. So it is cyclical. Do we get cyclical unemployment here? And the last one, classical. For classical, we call it real wage. Leave it please. For classical, we call it real wage. For real wage, what does that imply? It means firms are not willing to employ workers because the wage demanded by workers is too high for them to pay. Get the point here? We call it classical or real wage because workers are available, but firms do not have the financial capability to pay them what they are demanding for. Do you get classical here? Do you get classical of this? So look at what I wrote. This occurs when the cost of hiring new workers are too high for firms. The workers are available, but won't be hired, leaving them unemployed. So workers are unemployed. They couldn't get a job because what they are demanding for is too high for firms to pay. So that is about classical. I'm just going to do a recap about it. We have frictional, which is the time in between you are looking for a job, you leave a job to find a new one. Seasonal, you don't have a job at a specific period within a year. Structural, the labor market, the specific labor market, the demand for labor is less than the supply. Technological, firms are changing from being labor intensive to capital intensive, making workers to become redundant. Cyclical, aggregate demand is falling within the economy, probably because of recession. Both capital and human resources are not utilized. Classical or real wage, this means firms do not employ people because the demand for the wage demanded cannot be affordable by firms. And these are the causes of unemployment. Thank you.